Okay, we have fireworks go. Hello. We have fireworks going on in the background. So I hope the dog doesn't freak completely. Just a second, I want to get a good view. Yes. So over here, it's good evening on this New Year's Eve, and good morning to our Alaskan friends and everything in between. And it's a delight to share this again. Uh, Precious Eve with you guys. Um, and the non-dual potentiality in us greets the non-dual potentiality in you. So when we look at pure potentiality, the field of endless possibility, the creative source, we call it non-dual potentiality. It's a bit daft because everything is non-dual and every potentiality is non-dual. And what is this crazy English word? What are we talking about? Potentiality. So for sure, what we're doing is we are inviting conscious awareness and mental attention, or all three, to dive into the source dimension of ourselves, the core of who we are, or what we are, what all this is. What on earth is it? The place of the dimension of the unmanifest before things are even born, where there's a germination happening, where almost anything is possible if you just look at the structure of the earth. So deep inside the earth, what can be born from the earth? The earth itself has got its own dimension of potentiality. It can birth flowers, it can birth butterflies, it can birth great redwood trees. It births creatures like us, including our minds. It's not separate. So the field of potentiality, the quality of potentiality, is that space where we get the feeling that just about anything is possible. There is the possibility of all things to come to be. It's this movement which is pre-creation. It's that twitch in this subliminal darkness which starts the whole cycle happening. It's utterly, this unmanifest source is utterly depending on unsafety, impermanence, movement, change, freedom, to be itself, for it to be itself, for it to be able to express. It's like the fertile womb, which gives birth or nurtures and conceives and nurtures and eventually births us and all other forms. Pure potential. In that moment before it was us in that womb. Maybe it was our brother or our sister. And maybe we can go way beyond the human womb to contact this place, this fertile place of pure potentiality. It's like the cells of the body, stem cells. Before they answer the call to differentiate into this kind of cell or that kind of cell, into a neural cell or into a liver cell or into a bone cell, before they answer that call of need to become one thing rather than the other, there's just this pure master cell, full of light, full of pure potential, the potential to be any cell at all. It's in our biological structure. So much connected with healing and rejuvenation, rebirth, growth, and the process of taking form. So it felt like a beautiful quality to move into at this moment where together we share the time where 2025 is releasing, even if it's just an abstract notion, and humanity is turning towards 2026. And in that moment, this critical moment of change where one, there's a centering and one is allowed to become the other, there is a kind of reckoning that happens, a kind of looking back or looking inward, but a lot of looking back towards what has been. And this is a slippery slope, we look back towards 2025, into 2025, we're already in the past. We can keep going, we can go back to 2024, 2023. I already this evening, while waiting to begin, arrived at the start of the pandemic in our very first Zoom meetings. When also then, at the outbreak of COVID in 2020, it was our first Zoom meetings, it seemed that anything could happen at any moment. The whole world just stood still. Our whole relationship with our physical bodies was having a reset. Our relationship with authorities, medical authorities, governmental authorities, was having a reset. Our relationship with our beliefs about what's true and what's not, and who's able to take care of us and who's not able to take care of us, and what it means to be alive, and what it means to be dead, and what it means to lose someone, in a collective way, was having a tremendous reset. So something's going on here, but now you can already begin to sense that as we look back over the past year or past years or the past forever and ever back to the dinosaurs, it's a little bit like looking back into the mirror. Because if we ask ourselves just for 2025, what has been? It's interesting what kind of story we compose according to what is the nature of the impressions that most got our attention. Is 2025 a necklace of painful moments? Was 2025 a series of genocides and wars and depressions? Was 2025 a string of either traumas or threatened traumas that threatened to repeat? Was 2025 a big argument? Was 2025 an evidence of that any awful thing could happen at any time, and that we are utterly helpless, impotent, because any terrible thing could happen at any moment? So proving that we can't trust, showing us that any promise that we thought was there for us on the inside is broken on the outside, that we're screwed over, that we're lied to. And what is 2025? Or maybe we look back into 2025 and we see evidence after evidence of our own impotence, of our own powerlessness, that we have no agency, a kind of depression, weakness, fear. Or maybe we look back in 2025 and we celebrate this moment, that accomplishment, the way that we were able to meet that challenge, the way we were able to suffer that shitty moment. Maybe it's a little miracle, 2025. How do we approach it? And this is why I say it's a little bit like looking in the mirror, because we get a direct reflection on our attitudes towards being alive. Because just as surely as we could compose a biography of pure pain and suffering for ourselves to identify with, we could also compose a biography of spiritual unfolding, a biography of how true nature has been living through the experience of being here in this time, a biography of moments of love, of moments of bliss, of moments of togetherness. And this is also possible, because in the same way that any godforsaken thing can happen at any moment, also any amazing thing can happen at any moment. We don't get one without the other. In the field of pure potentiality, anything could happen at any moment. And that's why we are able to live, because we're able to grow, because we're able to change, because we're able to develop, because we're able to experience and to move through difficult experiences and delightful experiences. And sometimes delightful experiences are also a little bit difficult. And sometimes when things are really, really grim, part of our soul is wondering at just how utterly awful it can be. It's like, wow, it's really bad. It's almost a delight in it. And if we're really honest, there's space for all of that. The space of awakening. The space of actually recognizing that something amazing is happening in being alive, moment by moment by moment by moment. And in every moment, what's really alive there is this field of pure potentiality, the pure potentiality, and it's the potential for what? It's amazing. It's the potential for just about anything. So this is tricky because whatever we look back on over 2025 is also going to be what we're anticipating for 2026. Because as mental creatures, we are very good at pattern recognition. So if it's been shit, 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 shit in 2025, we can expect a similar pattern in 2026. And in the expectation, we are already conjuring up out of the field of pure potential this experience. So if we've been very, very bored and we expect to be bored, we look towards 2026 and immediately there's a sense of boredom comes forward. If we felt very, very disempowered, like we're not really allowed to be totally alive, like we're not really living from this fearless center of ourselves, and we look towards the future, we will expect the same. And in a way, we conjure it up. The feeling's already there by association, because it becomes, how do you say, fused with life itself, with the experience of being alive. And then we have these moments, these breaks in the timeline, like random thing. 2025 becomes 2026, fireworks across the world. From Australia, it's begun already, moving around the world as the year clocks in. And in this bizarre, baboony kind of way, humanity is celebrating a completely abstract thing, which hasn't got a lot to do with anything in the earth, but still, there's a field where one year becomes another year, concrete change, and we're all in it together as the planet circulates. And there's a moment where there's a kind of break in our normative reality, our pattern of karma, which is saying the shit from the past will be delivered in the future, so I'm already feeling it, therefore creating it. There's a break, and this is a break of awakening. It's what any ritual will give us, especially when we do it together. But in this break of awakening is this dimension of pure potentiality. It's a very magical time as well because it's positioned this New Year turnover just after the winter solstice, where the whole season is turning from the darkest moments back into the longer days again. And you can feel it, even the birds sing a little bit differently in the mornings when the sun rises a little bit earlier. So there is also some kind of magic in relationship to the movement from darkness to light happening. And in the movement from deep winter, where there is germination happening deep inside the earth, where things are cooking beneath the threshold of consciousness, where we're secretly, unconsciously, magically plotting on a soul level the deeper expression of all that we are. And the beginnings of growth as it begins to break into the light. So there is also some kind of magic going on here, especially when we bring in the field of infinite potentiality, non-dual field of potentiality. But we're afraid. This fear of the amount of power, creative power or possibility, which is available to us, even available to our little finger, available to the end of our nose, available to all of us. There's fear in it. This fear is connected to what could be called a lower magic. And this lower magic is where there is a half realization that it's possible to create stuff out of the field of infinite potentiality and then make it work for separate selfish gain. So this would be similar to some schools of manifestation, where it's like, okay, I want $1 million for myself and me, not for me neighbor, and I'm going to manifest that. Or I want my neighbor's husband, and I'm going to manifest that. Or I'm going to dip into the field of potentiality because, or just about anything could happen. And with my mind, I'm going to plant the seeds, I'm going to go back down there, and I'm going to get the outcome which I want. And it can feel a little bit godlike, this lower magic. It's like, whoa, I have power. I can get a parking space like that. Anything I want, I can get it. I can get to be the president of my country. Anything I want, I can get it. But it's also a kind of megalomania which causes pain, trauma to others, because what it's really manifesting, what it's really bringing to life, together with every dollar or every moment of getting that spouse or every moment of getting that dream car, is a much deeper resonance of selfishness and despair. Because it's pulling around again and again this kind of megalomaniac separate self-belief that I have my private happiness, I want my private gain, I want it to be okay for me, and I'm separate from everybody else. And if it's propagating the belief in separation, it's also propagating a kind of traumatic energy, isolation, loneliness, despair, senselessness. What does it help? My great skyscraper hotels and my wonderful fancy cars and my, what do you call, trophy wife or trophy wives? What does it help? If anyway I'm going to die, maybe I could find a pill to live forever. It breeds a background of despair, because this kind of willpower, mind-based abuse of the field of potentiality cannot bring true nature online. It can only separate us from it. And this is why it's a lower magic. And it holds on like hell from a realm of hungry ghosts to the old reality, and trying to propagate that into the future of private wealth, private happiness, private peace, private safety at the expense of others. And in this is actually making a kind of anti-potentiality, because there's simply not enough to go around. Really, the experience of hungry ghosts. So it's really worthwhile as human beings to look at our relationship that we have between our minds, these wonderful treasure which we are given as a mission to develop, and the field of infinite potential. Because this low-level magic leads to warfare, starvation, horrors. And there's a deeper magic which is amazing, which is the magic when we tap into the field of non-dual potentiality, not selfish for me only, and I want to get what I want and manifest me a birthday present kind of potentiality, but the actual field of potentiality, where what we tap into is the infinite potentiality, for example, of love. This is so much more than the private love. Love me, do, love me, love me, only for me. I want to feel love. I want everyone to love me, but why don't I feel love? The potentiality of love, for example, just what that one quality, in its billion, trillion different variations, in its myriad of expressions, in the 1,000 billion ways that it can be sensed or experienced, or we can experience it experiencing this world, how love can touch this world, how love can be here. This is utterly amazing, and there is no price to be put on it, and separation isn't possible within it. It can't be controlled, it can't be bullied, it can't be megalomaniacked out. And nor can we ignore it for very long. We can pretend that we're totally impotent and we can't control love, but we're made of it. The same with peace, the same with freedom, the same with innocence, the same with purity. The whole of true nature can show up when we connect into the deeper magic of potentiality through whatever experience we're having. Meaning, even if the experience is really rubbish, there can be a kind of blissful way to experience it, or an easy way to take it, or a compassionate way to move with it. We can find freedom within it. And not just one kind of freedom, but variegated, amazing, supple, endless freedom filled with endless potential for adjustment according to exactly the frequencies which are needed in the moment. And this is a deeper magic, because from this place, there's no need for separate self-interest, except as a kind of playful activity to get in rapport here and there. There's no need for it, because there's not this nagging, despairing sense of lack, this gnawing, greedy feeling that it's never enough. There's not this background in the basis of our being which says discontentment. It's not there. I'm never going to be okay. This isn't there in a position of being part of what we are, a kind of horrified emptiness, not an emptiness of endless possibility, but a terrified emptiness that doesn't want to be exposed. It moves us out of that place where the lesser magic is coming from, of potentiality, and into this place where it all flips around, and here is infinite, abundant, eternal love, peace, freedom, care, experiencing things like horrible lack, a little bit here, a little bit of greed here, a little bit of spicy hatred here, but it's no longer what we're made of. It becomes clear and self-realized as being something that we're able to experience, but not something which defines what we are. And when it doesn't define what we are, it's rather an experience we're able to have, then it no longer has a grip over our whole history. History rewrites itself, the past rewrites itself, because our memory will then begin to remember things as experiences which we were able to have, as opposed to moments that we were possessed by the devil himself, and we became hatred, and we became enslaved, and we were such victims. And it loosens up, and it becomes just that we were able to have these experiences in our mortal bodies. And in releasing the past, it also opens up the field of infinite potential and infinite possibility for the future. And then when we turn towards 2026, it's no longer held by demons from the past, saying we have to, even that stuff that we've got, we have to hold on to it really strong because it's not as much as the neighbors and it could be stolen from us. Then we can turn towards 2026 with a confidence that whatever is going to happen, even if it's really difficult, we're able to tap into the infinite field. We're able to tap into the field of potentiality where immediately there is access to the qualities of true nature. And one of the first qualities that comes forward will be togetherness. We have each other. We have resource. If there's certain qualities which are difficult for us to access, we can ask others to share it with us. There's a different way to be resourced, to move forward, to approach experience. And God forbid, when we meet happiness, when we meet bliss and we meet freedom, to actually really allow it to come to life, to really allow ourselves to enjoy it and not to run from it like it's frightening or dangerous, but to give it space, to let it transmit from the infinite source of potentiality through us, through the body, into the world, and to offer it as an unconditional sharing outwards, which immediately allows all of our systems, physical, mental, emotional, to vibrate with those frequencies and therefore be open to receive it back again as an experience. So, Happy New Year. Bye. We will take a 5-minute break and then Bart will give us a potentially wonderful meditation to bring in the new year.
So, welcome back, everybody. And again, it's so nice to see you all again. So, let's move into the guided meditation. If you could find a relaxed position, and when you've found a relaxed position, just take some time just to connect with your physical body in the here and now. How do you experience your body right now? And whatever this experience brings forward, try to embrace it, try to allow it, if it's pleasant or unpleasant. It's not that important. Just allow it to be what is right now. And then it's maybe possible to kind of connect with where your body is supported by the couch, the chair, the mattress, maybe the floor. And maybe it is possible to allow yourself to relax even a little bit more deeply into this support. And maybe it's even possible if there's any stress or disquiet to allow this stress and disquiet to kind of move, release into the support of the chair, the couch, the mattress, the floor. And then I'd like you to kind of regress back a little bit into the last year. And maybe there were a few moments or a moment or maybe a period of joy. And can you go back to a moment in the last year where you experienced some joy? And give yourself the space and the time to really experience the moment and to experience the joy you felt. And then I like you to kind of offer this experience to the universe. We let go of this experience and we offer it to the universe. We share it with the all. And we just connect with what is left, the one who is able to experience joy. We just stay for a little while with the one who is able to experience. And then I like you to regress back again into the last year, to a moment which was difficult, a moment where there was some struggle. And again, I like you to kind of revive this moment, make it as alive as possible. And allow you to experience this moment. And then I like you to offer this experience again to the whole, to the universe, letting it go into the all. And we stay a little bit with the one who was able to experience this, who was conscious, aware of this. Then I like you to regress back into the last year to a moment that you experienced peace, a moment that you experienced peace. And again, give yourself the time and the space to move back to this moment and to experience this moment as deep as possible. And then I like you to offer this experience again to the whole, to the universe, to the all. And let it go. And we stay a little bit with the one who is able to experience this, the one who is aware or conscious of this experience. And then I'd like you to regress back again into the last year towards a moment of pain, a moment where you experienced pain. And again, allow this moment to come alive and allow yourself to experience it to the depth. Then again, I like you to let go of this experience and offering it to the universe, to the whole, to the all. And we stay a little bit with the one who is able to experience. The one who's conscious, the one who's aware. And then I'd like you to regress back again into the last year to a moment that you experienced gratitude. You're regressing back to a moment that we felt gratitude. And allow yourself to let this moment come alive and to experience this moment to the depth. And again, we offer this experience to the whole, to the universe, to the all. Letting it go. And we stay a little bit with the one who was able to experience this. It's our conscious awareness. And then I like you to regress back into the last year to a moment that you experienced fear. We move back to a moment that we experienced fear. And allow this moment to come alive. And allow yourself to experience this moment to the depth. And then again, we offer this experience to the whole, to the universe, to the all. We let it go. And we stay a bit with what is staying behind the one who's able to experience our conscious awareness. And then I'd like you to regress back again into the last year and connect with the moment that you experienced love. We are connecting with the moment that we experienced love. And allow this moment to come alive. And allow yourself to experience this to the depth. Then again, we offer this experience to the whole, to the universe, to the all. We let it go. And we stay a little bit with the one who was able to experience this. And then I would like you to move your attention to the here and now, to this moment. And maybe it is possible to feel or experience the unlimited potential of this moment, the unknown in which everything is possible. And maybe it's possible if we are connected with this feeling of unconditional potentiality, to expand this a little bit into the future, into the coming year. Just the atmosphere of it. The atmosphere that everything is possible. And in doing that, whatever pops up out of this field of potentiality, just allow it to come forward and let it go again. Whatever pops up, just allow it to come forward and let it go again. Okay. So we're saying goodbye on the people on the live stream, and thank you for sharing with us. It was nice that you were there again and to experience and feel you. Bye. And we take a 5 minute break, and after 5 minutes,
Happy New Year to the people on the live stream.
yes, also already.
Wish you
It's
a
a little
very,
bit
very
early
beautiful
though.
2026. Have a lovely New Year party.
And we take 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes, we will go on with some questions and sharing, and of course, the peace meditation.